Welcome to Shandalar. This is a Magic the Gathering RPG, and I think we're just going to get right into it, and I will explain as we go. Select difficulty level. We're going to select Wizard. I've only ever beaten this game one time, and I beat it on the Sorcerer difficulty, so we'll be selecting Wizard. Select your color. This really only matters in the early game. Blue's my favorite color. I really feel like I should take blue. But red, I think red is really good early. So I'm going to take red. And then we get to design a character. So I think it's crazy just how ugly all the dudes are. They're just all so ugly. Like everything here is ugly. It's crazy. But you get to select from all these characters and you have to it doesn't really come up much, but it's very silly. I'll make something and I'll show you what I made. Cool. I think this is what we're gonna be. I think I'll just be because this is my username. All right, we got to get to a town, and then I will try to explain to the best that I can. I will try to explain what's going on. All right, so you are a dude, and you are on the plane of Shandalar, which is just a giant continent island thing, and as you saw, it's a real-time game. So you're a dude, and you run around. Other guys are going to run into you, and then you play a game of Magic to defeat them. This is a town. There's a bunch of... Where's the map? Here's the map. There are a bunch of these little towns, and then there are these big towns. And then there are dungeons, and then there are... here we go. And then each one of these guys has a big dungeon associated with them. The purpose of the game, or the goal of the game, is you have to defeat each one of these 5 dudes, and then you have to fight like the final boss in order to win the game. But you'll have to do all of that before they conquer the world or something. I forget exactly what they do, but they definitely like expand their territory or something. I'm not sure. Okay. So early in the game, you're just trying to accumulate cards, make your deck better, and get to a stable point where you can start doing things like completing quests. And then you gotta find the dungeons, because the dungeons is where you have, like, the Power 9. And once you start getting the Power 9, then you can start challenging the bosses towards the end of the game. But otherwise, it's just Magic. This is our starting deck. It's randomized what you get, but because I chose Wizard, they always give you cards in all 5 colors. You start with 10 life, which is this number. And because I chose the Red Wizard, I guess I start with this ability. Staff of Thunder, risk 1 red amulet to destroy the nearest creature. Oh, okay. I probably won't be using that. I forget what else you use the amulets for. I think you use them for buying cards sometimes. I don't totally remember. This is your deck size. I don't know why you would ever want to increase your deck size. The minimum deck size is 40, which isn't enforced. If you ever have less than 40 cards, they just give you random basic lands to fill out your deck. But you can buy cards, you can add them to your deck, and then you can play Magic. First thing I'm going to do, I want to look at this deck. Anytime you're ever handed random grouping of cards, the first thing you got to do is you got to see if you can eliminate a color. I might be able to cut black. Wait a minute. Plains, Islands, Mountain, Forest. I don't start with any swamps? What is happening? Okay, so we obviously need to cut all of our black cards. Okay, I definitely don't need wall creatures you control get +1/+0 and have banding. Well, I guess we still have green cards in the deck. I don't know. I'm not gonna... Hey, we start with a Shivan Dragon. I'd feel like I don't really need to read these cards just because we'll read them as we go. I don't think I'm super interested in doing a whole lot of deck editing right now, other than making the initial cuts. I think we're just going to accept this quest just because it is a quest. We have to go to Mandrake Mill, which you can see on the map is over here. And we're going to leave the village for the first time. Alright. Ugh, I ran into a dude. Or actually, a dude ran into me. Alright, every single game is played for ante. And we always take the duel. And this is what the duel screen looks like. I'm not going to show every duel that happens, but I will show you the first one because it is the first one. I'll try to walk through some things. It's just Magic. I'm not going to explain how to play Magic, but this is my hand. I can play lands from it. And this is the turn order. I'm double clicking to play things. Oh, that's fine. A Prodigal Sorcerer. Oh, I love Prodigal Sorcerer, especially early in the game. He's actually pretty good. Yeah, Prodigal Sorcerer deals 1 damage to target creature or player. That's actually like decent. Just you only start with 10 life, or I only start with 10 life, and my opponents currently only start with 10 life. There is some pressure to get things done quickly because I don't know how the game tracks it, but over time the opponents get better, and so you have to make sure that you're keeping up with your opponents. But they don't get better infinitely. You just need to make your deck good enough to beat the top end. Mountain Island. I guess I'll play a forest, and then I don't know. Clay Statue is okay because it's a 3/1. And it can contest the Wall of Wood. Wait, why can't I? Oh, but it's 4 mana. Right, that's why we're gonna not do that. I think originally they always wanted you to tap your lands first and then put in the Prodigal Sorcerer, but I think there is an auto tap function now, so I will probably be using that when it doesn't matter. Cool, Mountain, and then, ooh, I could play the Hill Giant instead. It's a 3/3 as opposed to a 3/1, but Clay Statue can regenerate itself, so I'll just do that. Oh, I have a fast effect, right? Yeah, I'll just do that and then target him. Yeah, my opponent is clearly mana screwed. Draw, play Mountain, play the dude with a bigger attack. We do this just to get it out of the way. We move to attackers. We attack with a Clay Statue. He blocks, but we win the comp. Oh no! Not Giant Growth. And I didn't hold up 2 mana to regenerate him. Oh, that's fine, but it's annoying. Wow, okay. I didn't expect that. Well, I have to keep that in mind. I do have Shivan Dragon coming, so this game should be pretty much in the bag. Okay, and then he plays a flyer. That's fine. I am just gonna get the Shivan Dragon in here, but it's a little bit concerning. Let's see. This guy doesn't have any green mana right now. Yeah, so I'm good to attack. Oh, it prevents a damage. Wait, what happened? I actually kind of missed that. I get that this prevents a damage, but he still took some, right? Or something? Or did he just block? Maybe he just blocked and then I couldn't kill. Choose blockers. Well, the thing about the killer bees, 1, 2, 3, 4. He can actually. Well, no, he can't. He can't block. So this should be fine. No, unless he does that. Okay. This is becoming a problem. I hope. Oh, wait a minute. I could be killing the killer bees with the Prodigal Sorcerer. I am not playing too well. Oh, wait a minute. The Grape Shot Cannon will work. I mean, I get blown out by the giant growth, but I could attack. I'll attack. And another giant growth. How many of those does he have? It's insane. Now, do I lose to this? Oh, he only powered it up once. Okay, that's interesting. A lay druid. Interesting. So he doesn't have any forest left, which means that when we do this, we could do this and kill him. Hey. Okay, sure. I guess. And then, yeah, you go face. And we might as well play out our land. I don't think there's any point in not just playing out our lands when we get them. Unfortunately, we don't have Ancestral Recall yet, so... Oh yeah, the haste card. Attacks for 1. I'm just gonna let that happen. That's fine. Prodigal Sorcerer is gonna end up doing all of the damage in this game, mostly because I took really bad trades earlier. But I just was not expecting... Oh, is there... Can you view the graveyard? Ooh, the Asp is a problem. Interesting. You did a lot of stuff there. I don't have any planes, so I can't even cast this card. Yeah, look at this. 3 giant growth. How many cards are in his deck? Count library cards. 44. This guy's playing like a 60 card deck with 4 giant growth, and he saw 3 of them. Well, we could kill the Asp. The Asp doesn't have like Death Touch or anything though, so I could just block it currently. I think we make this guy fly. And then we attack. And then, yeah, I think I will just go face with this guy's effect. And then we pass the turn. So this guy's got a lot of mana, but he's not doesn't have a whole lot to do with it. Oh, but he's attacking with the Ley Druids now. Fast effects. No. Assign attackers. I'm trying to block. There we go. Okay, that's fine. Oh, jeez. Wait. Did that do anything? Yeah, I don't think he was attacking. The wall of wood is a wall, so it can't attack, so... Well, that worked out. Drew another mountain. Okay, we're gonna do the smart thing, and this time we're gonna leave up Prodigal Sorcerer to block, and then we will tap him during combat, assuming I don't screw this up. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Okay. Oh, and he doesn't attack? He skipped right through combat. So we do this. He's down to 1. Zephyr Falcon. Oh, this guy's good. I'll talk about this more in detail probably in a later time, but there's a curve of efficiency for creatures that I use to evaluate, and Zephyr Falcon I actually think is a good card. But we're gonna just hit him with the Prodigal Sorcerer and win the game. I don't know why the game's not over. There we go. You have defeated the slimy druid. Will you take the cards or take the dungeon clue? The dungeon clue is nice eventually, but I think as of right now, we just want the cards. And we want these cards. Like, Winds of Change is crazy. You just get to draw a bunch of cards. 3-mana 2/2 is really bad in current day. It's actually not that bad, unfortunately. And so temporarily it's pretty good. And Crawworm, 6 mana, 6 power. I know it's a 4 toughness, but once again, actually a decent card. So we take the cards. Alright. Well, unfortunately, this is where I have to interrupt everything. What happened was, we kept playing for a while. We completed some quests. We collected some cards. We were moving on. And then suddenly, this happens. Oh, come on. Catch up. There we go. Mind Stealer. Well, let's see if he wants to steal something. No, what's happening? Game crashed. Well, that's unfortunate. Yes, my game crashed, and I didn't save. Well, okay then. So you can just erase your memory of all that's happening, and this is what's actually happening. We start a new game, we pick red, we pick wizard, and we start. We make it to the first town. We edit our deck, pretty much same as before. We did notice in the shop there's a stone giant. We got to add that in. We accept the quest. A mana link. I think mana link is what gives you extra life. Ooh, we see the Black Castle already. And we're on our way. One notable thing I'm doing in this playthrough is finding all these random spawning locations, because they often give me basic lands, which is super useful at this point of the game. As stated earlier, I don't even have swamps. At this point, it's worth mentioning, I was on a Discord call with some friends.
Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
So, there's only going to be narrator audio for the rest of this video. I show up to a town, I complete the quest, but they also took one of my blue cards and gave me a blue amulet instead. And we make sure to save. I'm not losing this again. I'm trying to avoid as many fights as I can early in the game. My deck's not very good, it's kind of unreliable. And I'm just trying to get as many free resources as I can, so that way when I do have to do my first fights, my deck is as good as possible. Every game is played for ante, and so your win rate has to be high enough that you don't continually lose cards as you go. If you get into a spiral where you just start losing cards because you just keep losing games over and over again, you really can't make progress. And it just causes you so many problems, and I'm trying to avoid that. We run into our first battle against a Black Witch, and we win pretty easily with our Stone Giants. And we got our first dungeon clue. Turns out the dungeon's right there, but we are not ready to approach it yet. We then made it to a new town. We got offered colorless cards for a blue amulet. I have a blue amulet, so I looked through all the colorless cards. Colorless cards in this game are kind of interesting. I mean, some of them are pretty good, but a lot of them are fairly specific. I don't really find a whole lot of them looking for, so I don't even buy anything. If I had more amulets, I would have definitely bought like a Strip Mine or Misha's Factory, or I mean, there's a bunch of other interesting things, but most of the good colorless cards are not going to be here purchasable. Walking, this is probably not going to be important. We do find a blood moon. That's pretty cool. Or bad moon. We find a bad moon, which is pretty cool. But we're trying to find quests that don't require combat. So we're turning down a lot of the quests that are having me do combat. We show up to another random location. Also gives me one of each amulet. Run into an Elvish Magi, not a big deal. Board gets like super gummed up. We throw the goblin once. That's the cool thing with the stone giant. He can throw small creatures. But eventually we force a trade and whittle them down out of creatures and win the game. find another quest that gives us a mana leak. We have to move specifically north. We look in the shop. There's a bunch of green cards. Super useful. Half our deck is red right now. Like primary, our deck is primarily red, but the other half is green, and I'm trying to cut down as many colors as I can and get it down to 1 or 2 colors. But I probably would cut it down to just 1, but the green cards has actually been quite nice, both so far and in the short term. Green isn't really my favorite color in this game in the long term. I don't really understand what it does at the top end. I have a tendency to just play blue all the time because Ancestral Recall and Time Twister are way too good of cards. But any color can do things in this game, of course. And green cards are super good right now because they're creature focused, their threats are fairly good on the mana value to stats scale, and Llanowar Elves gives you head on mana. So we're moving up north, and we dodge into town without having to fight anybody. But we're moving the wrong direction. When we leave the town, we're surrounded by enemies, and we run away from them, which is cool, except we're not running the right way. And then I make it to a new town, it's also surrounded by enemies. I leave town again. I find a random location. I get offered a fight with a dragon, and you know, me avoiding fights, I obviously accept the fight. It turns out, I don't know that I recognized this at the time. This is against a dragon, by the way. Kind of a late game enemy, and I get crushed. Clearly much high level opponent I am. He had Sarah Angel, I had no answer for it. He had Psychic Venom, dealing damage to me every time I tap a land. Just crushed. But I actually did not lose any cards. I don't think I knew this going into the fight, but that fight was actually free to try, which I was kind of glad I did. I got a little bit of experience, and I mean, you never know. Maybe I could have won it. We immediately fight a red war mage, also a higher level, but not quite as like strong as the dragon is. He gets out to this ridiculous mana advantage where he plays down all these cards, and then he starts just killing all of my creatures. He doesn't have any like reasonable threat. He threw down a ball lightning early and then didn't do anything for a long time, and his own mana vault kept dealing damage to him. I thought it was going to win. I think I missed out on a damage. I think there's a play I could have made that could have given me 1 more damage on the previous turn, and then he would have actually died to his own mana vault. But then he rips ball lightning off the top of the deck and hits me for exact trample damage to kill me. No way I'm about to die to Xaxes against the ball lightning when I would have won the next turn. That's so infuriating. I didn't lose a whole lot there, it's just a hill giant, but oh my gosh. And then I saved, and that was the end of the session. I then played for a while, and then I experienced another crash. Look, I'm not going to spend too much time on these crashes, but I'm going to have to start being like super vigilant about saving like all the time. And it's just worth noting that this is just what I'm dealing with. It's just as much as it's like a updated version of the game, quote unquote, able to be played on modern software, it's still not. It's still just like a super old, buggy game, unfortunately. Well, that's it for this episode. It's a pretty rough start, but I think we've got through most of the major issues. Tune in next time where we spend an episode battling and we go through more of the cards more in detail. See you next time.